Hello guys, hope you're all doing okay. Yep, just gonna be doing some sculpting. No point really doing any kind of intro, honestly. It's just gonna continue what we're doing on the last stream. Possibly move a little bit into Maya to do some camera lineups. But it depends honestly how this goes. We probably will get to a camera lineup stage today. But yeah, there's a few issues I need to sort out. Kinda want to replace the eyes as well with a separate geometry to kind of get a bit more control over eyelid thickness, but we'll get to that. But yeah, so I've not done anything off stream. I'm gonna try to keep this project to be something where I only do like actual visual work on stream. I did do a little bit of lighting testing yesterday in Katana, but it's literally just like background techie stuff rather than actually anything that will affect the look of the project. So there's no point doing that on stream. But yeah, so we're just gonna get on with it really. If there's any questions, as always, do feel free to ask. And yeah, I'll see what I can do. So I'm wondering if it's worth getting eyes in there now, rather than after. So let's just get some eyeballs in there. So let's go primitives, insert a sphere. Oh, there's subdivisions on that. Okay. Duplicate. I know you can do free subdivisions, but I don't like doing that. A bit too big. Something like that. Oh, I need to... There we go. Cool. Split. And then split unmasked. And it's gonna delete this guy. Cool. Cool, so let's get a transpose line. Okay, how big are the eyes in this guy? I think the size is about right, maybe a little bit too... maybe a little bit too large. Let's shrink that down a little bit. There we go. Okay. Let's just get that vaguely in the right place. Then we can correct our eye shape. So do you need to fit high in the skull? Something like that should work. Well, it might still be a bit large. There we go, that's feeling a bit better. Cool. So, Shift F. Let's just go into our history. Or preferences, sorry. Do history, disable saving. And that allows us to quickly just go in, save a variation of sky. Cool. So I'll just sculpt the eyes out completely. Oh, I need to mute Facebook. There we go. Sorry, Ryan. So that will do. They still feel a bit too big. Let's give this a go. See, what we'll find out is we'll get this into Maya, do some actual like correct scale eyes, and then realize that our entire setup is wrong. Let me just try something. So an eye should be able to fit into the head 3 times. Oh, 5 times, sorry. So let's duplicate this, move it that way. Yeah, those are too small. These should be touching, so we need to make them just a touch bigger. Let's turn on local symmetry. That'll make it easier to scale. Stuff like that should work. Just delete these. There we go. Cool, let's fix our eye. So I realized one of the measurements I used on the Pero, like for his eye, is that, oh, the average eye is 24mm, which is kind of correct, but what I didn't realize is that 24mm is measured from the back of the eye to the front of the cornea, and obviously the cornea has a bulge. So the actual like width of the eye would be closer to 20 to 22mm. Very tiny difference, but obviously that sort of stuff has an effect. And it's within the realm of like, you know, genetic variation. So it wouldn't have made like a bad difference, but it's something I still want to fix on this project, is actually have correct eye scale. In fact, eyes on this project are going to be quite a big thing, I think. So I really want to get my eye setup looking good, rather than okay. I don't want to do that actually, because so let's fix the actual eye itself. So the cornea bulge should be about half the size of the eye. Stuff like that. Maybe a bit on the small side. Cool. That'll do. So then let's get a better material on there. Toy plastic. Then let's go material, color, fill object. So cool that you're doing a Sargent painting. Yeah, I'm really excited about this. There we go. And let's just get a quick color on there. So something I do quite often at this stage is kind of get some very rudimentary like paint in there. Like, I mean extremely rudimentary, just to kind of get some depth, or some kind of feeling of depth to the eyes. Hopefully not make him feel cross-eyed in the process. Which in this case is a failure. Let's try. Okay, I can rotate the eye out from there. Let's just get a general ambient occlusion on there. I just find eyes are so important to kind of get a feeling correct. So what I'll do at this point is get a much, much darker colour. Get a pupil in there. Then darken up the top of the iris. Maybe going with black. And we can go in with some much lighter colours. Do something like that. Just to get some kind of feeling of there being like some detail there. Obviously I'm aware his eyes are kind of cross-eyed right now, but we'll fix that. Might have to size up the actual iris as well. For now, let's just... His iris is too small. Now it's too large. Now there's a placeholder. Cool. So let's get some actual eyelid sculpting in now. Okay, so I think in general, the outer side needs to go up a bit more. And that bottom lid is definitely a bit too sloped, isn't it? A lot of this stuff will kind of get fixed once we start doing lineups. Okay, let's fix that up. Let's get rid of this kind of bumpiness that it's got going. Okay, so what's the best way to go forward from here? He's definitely feeling a bit bug-eyed right now. The eye's texture is definitely one of the things that's not helping. But I always find it helpful to have some kind of colour. This terminates at a much steeper angle than what I've got, so we need to pull this in. shit, I'm painting material as well. Okay, let's go to, come on, flat color, and go color RGB, color fill object. There we go. There we go. So this is flatter than that area there, so let's pull that in. That's a much nicer rounded profile now. There we go, that's better. Cool, so. This is a lot deeper than what I've got. Yeah, it's very deep actually. Yeah, this corner's extremely deep, so we need to carve that in. Okay, it looks like there's like a really big pinch in there as well, so that would lead to something like that. It's like this area here, kind of doing something like that to dive into this like deep recessed area. It's interesting it's got this extra crease here. Oh yeah, I need to do this as well. Stroke. Lazy mouse. Cool. And then step you way down. Okay, so set it to 0. Apparently it sets it back to default. It's interesting. Let's just set it to 0.01. There we go. Okay, let's find the right Z intensity. This also needs to round out quicker. My eyes are too wide. There's definitely a feeling that my, like, eye socket is too large overall. I find this incredibly interesting. I don't think I've ever seen that in an eye before. That's definitely a smaller line though. I think his brow needs to be considerably lower for this to work. So let's just make his brow considerably lower. I'm going to try to get as smooth of a blend as I can with the mask. I'm just going to... Okay, so let's get that brow a bit lower. Is that max draw size? So, what else? So, it needs to be careful with ages, because this is definitely a much younger version of him than what's painted. So, things like the lower eye bags are going to be more defined in his older years. Although, I don't think any of them are as defined as what I've made. That's why it's important to take breaks from your art. At least a day. Yeah, I think even this one, yeah, this line is way too defined. It's not that defined in any of them. So it's kind of defined in this one, but still not really that much. That corner's so deep though. I think I also need to... Yeah, that line needs to end. Okay, let's ease this a little bit. There we go. So it's still got the line, but it's not as sharp as it was before. Like if I show just this area. Let's do that again. Then Shift S and undo to before it. It just like softens that line out. Definitely need to rework the jaw as well. This jaw doesn't look like what I imagine he would actually have. Such weird, like, anime eyes. Okay, I think it's because he's still looking inwards a little bit, which isn't helping. If you didn't know, your eyes point outwards like 3 degrees. 3 degrees, Jesus. I'm gonna have a speech impediment in the next few years, I swear. Swapping my R's and W's like relentlessly. But yeah, your eyes point away from each other like 3 degrees. I think it's 3 degrees each, so 6 degrees difference between them. If you do that in your models, it will stop it from feeling like yeah, stop it from feeling too cross-eyed. Okay. So this nose seems to have a little bit more of a ridge than what I've got, so let's get a little bit of that in there. Something like that. This is the John Sargent, like, emo phase. Got a fair few views today. Welcome to the stream, guys. If you're new here, say hello. If you're not, like, yeah. I guess stay silent. Alright, So this crease is obviously something that needs work, but I'm curious as to how... Like, does the top section need to be bulged over, or does the bottom section, or both? Because creases are never just lines, like wrinkles are never just a line that's indents, like normally there's a buildup of tissue on one side of it. And it's something I still struggle to get right. I mean, hell, this is proof this isn't working yet, but... It's working a bit better. Okay, so let's have a quick look. He paints a really sharp line there. Obviously that's the edge of a brush stroke, but like... He does have a very sharp cheekbone in some angles, which I'm currently missing. Yeah, like his cheekbone is there. So like the furthest out point is like here, which I haven't got right yet. It's a lot more successful. Because obviously your bone structure doesn't change as you get older. Well, I mean, kind of does, but not too much. Not compared to everything else. Violet's a bit too thick in this corner. Work a little bit on the ears. Then we'll work on the nose, and then we'll get to the chin and mouth. How much of his ear is visible? So obviously this is very loosely painted. Although, it still gives us some information that I've not got right. So for example, this part of the ear feels like it goes like this to me. Like it kind of curves in at this point, which mine doesn't. In fact, mine curved kind of out. So if we do that, kind of helps. This plane feels wrong. Where's that side view? Yeah, mine's a little bit too sharp compared to his. That in as well, and then definitely round it out a bit more. Hi Mike, the figure seems to weigh a maximum of 85 kilograms and on the picture gives the impression of at least 100. This one? Okay, so I need a little bit more fat, you think? Yeah, let's bulk the cheek out a little bit. Never actually got the chin, did I? Should this be lower? Yeah, I think so. Then obviously a bit of fat under it. This part of the head seems to be rounder than what I've got. Need to figure out what sort of chin he probably had. I don't think it would have been this defined. I think it would have been a bit softer. I don't want to distract you at work. Oh, no, no worries, man. Any sort of comment is helpful. I weigh more than 100 kilograms myself, I know what to say. Fair enough, man. Yeah, I used to weigh... A little while ago, I used to weigh... Well, say a little while ago. About 5 years ago, I weighed 102 kilo. Was not good. Although I put almost my entire weight to my chin, apparently. Like, even after losing weight, I still have... I mean, I'm still overweight, but, like, I still have an impressive double chin. It's great fun. The one upside is I have really strong legs for very little reason. Okay, let's... Okay, let's work a little bit on the ears. So, this stuff is still kind of helpful. Let's get to a similar angle. So mine curls too much. Like, it's too sharp of a turn. And this entire area is too small, which to me suggests that this bit needs to come down. Like, kind of two birds, one stone kind of thing. This area needs to be rounder as well. So let's round that out. Low intensity low intensity clay buildup is really good for this sort of stuff. Okay, let's hollow this out. I'm gonna have to find some good ear ref at some point soon, because this area of the ear is very underdeveloped. But my understanding of that section of the ear is also quite underdeveloped, so I need to look into it. It's not about making your head any rounder. It's about filling in forms. I would fulfill the forms of the eyelids. As in like this section. Because the bit above it is loose skin. Let's go to the so this one's very old, so he's started to get like bags rather than like kind of the plump area. That one's around the same age. That one's younger. I'm trying to remember which of these images was around the same age. Because one of these photos was around the same year, but like 2 years away from like this guy. So one thing I'm acutely aware of as well is the moment I take this into ZBrush, a lot of the kind of detail like creases start to disappear a little bit. Let's fill it in a little bit. That area seems rounder. Like this area here. Weirdly flat, this area. But I need to have some kind of transition from like top weight to bottom weight. Because in this area the eyelid is sagging, so you're going to have a little bit more weight at the bottom of it. And this side is kind of bunched up, so you're going to have a more uniform kind of tube shape. Or at least that's what I expect. Let's round this out a little bit better. Okay, that needs to... on, let me change the... There we go. It's close to being the right shape. Still not right though. This area here is giving me trouble. Are you left-handed? No, I'm right-handed. Just for some reason it kept catching it, like over and over again. Okay, let's ease this out a little bit. What programs will I use for rendering in hair? So currently I'm going to be using Arnold for rendering, just because that's what I've got for Katana. I don't have any other renderer licenses other than the one that comes with it, Free Delight. But I prefer to use like Arnold. In terms of hair, not entirely certain yet. The natural choice for a Digidouble is X-Gen. However, I really want to try to push Yeti and see what I can get out of it, because Yeti is like... Not objectively, but Yeti is not good for Digidoubles. Like, I personally would say it's awful for Digidoubles. But that just makes me want to tackle it even more. I feel like I could get something out of it if I really tried. It's also very easy to use with a pipeline in Katana, like extremely easy to use. So I kind of like the idea of doing that. But it's one of those where I might start the groom in Yeti and then realise how bad of a choice that is. Because his groom isn't complex, really. There isn't like a hard parting or anything, because like Yeti is... its system for partings is honestly probably one of the weakest points of the program. But, yeah, I mean, they improved the clumping, they improved the guides, it's all kind of updated in Yeti 4. So I want to give it another chance with Digidoubles. Because I've done a much more complex Digidouble with it before. Well, not Digidouble, but I've done a complex like human hair groom for like a pitch like about a year and a half ago. Rest in peace to that project. But yeah, it was using Yeti for that hair was painful because we were on Yeti 3.6, I think, 3.8. Let's hold that out. Now I need to learn actually, which way does the ear canal go? Goes up this way, right? Or does it go down? And I know that the hole is deeper here than I have it sculpted, so I need to, in general, round that out. There seems to be some kind of bump here. There's this little light section with shadows all around it, so let's get a hint of that in there. This section's kind of rough. It's a lot more square than what I've got, but then this is going to look bad from the other angles, right? So let's check that front view. We had one that was an almost perfect front view, right? There we go. It's not far off. I mean, this is within the realm of when you start to do asymmetry. I feel like that entire ear is rotated out slightly though, more than what I have. So like if I just grab it like that, like this angle is steeper than what I had a moment ago. But then it's starting to look a bit elfish now, right? I've gone too far in that. Let's ease out this area a little bit. That's better. Okay, let's do a little bit of work on the nose now. So, his nose is tilted to the right, and I don't think that is entirely from his head facing slightly to the right. Also, his eye spacing. His eyes are closer together than they should be. So let's move this inwards slightly. Yeah, his eyes are almost in. Okay, what have I got wrong? That needs to go up. Come on. Oh my god, please. There we go. There's about an eye spacing, but mine's slightly less than eye spacing, so let's move it over. That's a step too far. Just quickly repaint that eye. It's really bugging me. It's better. Okay, so his caruncle seems to be kind of leaning that way. Like if we zoom in really close, it's like there's a point here, some darker pixels, and a point there, so it's kind of doing that line, whereas mine is almost vertical. So let's kind of get that bit closer, which we can do by pushing this corner in like that. Something else I want to figure out actually is, do I want to do the caruncle as part of the same mesh? Because technically it is. Technically. little bit of funkiness going on with this. Just soften that in a little bit. Okay. This corner is too high. My eye in general feels a bit more Disney than it should. Kind of wanting to tilt the eyes outwards slightly. Trying to figure out what it is that's causing my eye to feel so much more kind of toony. Like, it's naturally its size, that sort of stuff comes from the size of the eye. But like, there's something else to it. The shape isn't right. I feel like my arch is too much towards the inner side. Like, this corner should go up slightly. If I just mask out that top eyelid. So I'm going to go travel back in time and tell John Singer Sargent that he should wear eyeshadow. That angle is not a good one. Although part of that is because the eye obviously doesn't respond correctly because it's painted on the surface. That side angle's bad though. The side angle is very bad. Let's go back to that side. How dominant is his top lid compared to his bottom lid? Oh, this angle is... this line, sorry, is way off. This corner as well. Right, let's spend a little bit of time. I think I said this multiple times now. Let's spend a little bit of time on the nose. Okay, so that pinch in there is not sharp enough yet. And it seems to lean back a bit more, which I think I can achieve by pushing that section in. There we go. Feels better. So this bit is pointed further up. I'm going to use snake hook actually. And then that needs to reach further forward, which is going to be kind of difficult to just sculpt in. Like that. Feels a bit excessive though, doesn't it? Why does it feel so excessive? That's the question. Okay. That line needs to come up slightly. Let's go back a little bit. Okay. It's in line with the top lid, which mine is as well. It's kind of weird. Which means that this brow then is coming out too quickly. That should be angled more back for that to make sense. Which means that this entire section is too protruded. And this needs to pull forward because there's not enough of a gap right now. I don't think it's down to angle of the camera. Think is the keyword though. Probably wrong on that last one, but we'll find out later. Okay. So nose shape. Come on. Why is this not? There we go. It's so weird. Like sometimes when I press S, it's just like staying where it was in Alaska. Got a slight bump right there. a slight hint of the bone. Okay, that front view is looking a bit narrow, so let's check that out. And it is. It's mesmerizing to watch you work. Thanks for sharing the process. Thanks, man. Yeah, no problem. I mean, like, the thing with sharing the process, and the reason I kind of do it, honestly, is just because it originally started off as because it gave me a reason to work. Like, if you go back to those first 2 streams, or the first 2 or 3 streams, Dragon Boy, like, I literally streamed just because I could not be bothered to do any personal work and didn't do anything for years. And so it started, honestly, it started for selfish reasons. And it still does continue for somewhat selfish reasons of, like, I do more personal work if I'm streaming. Like, streaming motivates me to do personal work and to work on stuff in my free time. It just so happens that it helps people while I do so. Granted, you know, obviously I do enjoy interacting with people, but, like, I mean, you can kind of tell if you go back, look at some of the really quiet streams. I think there was 2 streams where I had, like, literally 1 viewer. And I'm 90% sure that 1 viewer is my friend Rahul. It's just like, I still streamed anyway because, for me, even if no one comes here, I've still got a reason to do it. So, you probably don't really have to worry about the streams going anywhere. Anytime soon, anyway. But I do really like it when I definitely prefer it when the stream is active, like when there's people to talk to and questions to answer, that sort of stuff. Because I really, really enjoy interacting with people. Despite the fact I'm quite introverted. Or I'd say I'm introverted. Mike, would you agree to send me references and mesh? I'll check something and send it back. I can send you references. I don't really want to send the mesh out to people. Just because I'm having kind of fun experimenting with it. It's one of those things that once I do camera lineups, it will start to come together a lot quicker. Maybe when the project is done, I can share the files at that point. But I think at this stage it's a bit too early for me to want to share things. I feel like I've always been quite hesitant to send my work out. It's like, obviously this isn't anything to do with you, but in 2 instances now where I've like sent my work to someone, but I very, very rarely send my work to people, and it's because, like, a couple of years ago I sent my work to some students, I did some stuff for them. One of them tried to claim credit for a lot of stuff, like, kind of taking credit by omission kind of stuff, which was really annoying to deal with. And then during uni, I had a girl literally submit my work to marking for a project. So I've been hesitant since, even if it's not even for projects and stuff, I've just been hesitant to send project files to people. Because I've been burned by it so many times before. Got like a mental hang up on it these days. Okay, this is a really minor nitpicky thing, but I want to fix the shape of the mustache. Because I'm doing a lot of stuff relative to said mustache right now. So the shape needs to be more accurate. For example, pull that down, pull that up, pull it down. And then let's widen the tip of that a little bit. Let's not make it a sweet wrapper though. that shape. I mean, I'll probably end up using these meshes later on in the project to kind of use as groom reference. Because something that I find amazingly helpful is 3D groom ref. In terms of like, if you sculpt the general shapes, it makes it so much easier. Okay, I understand. Yeah, cheers, man. As I said, once the project is a bit more final, I'm happy to send it out. In hell, part of my deal with the Foundry is that I'm willing to share my work with them. Hence why I get Katana and Nuke and Mari for free. And hell, even Arnold I got for free via the Foundry. So, I need to be willing to share my work because that's kind of our deal. I think at some point, some of the stuff I do might be demo projects for releases. I'm not entirely sure how that's going to work, but maybe one day if you download Mari, you might actually just receive some of my work by default, which would be kind of funny. Let's just do something cheeky here. I think grooming this in Yeti could be quite fun, if I get it right. Okay, so that cheekbone is feeling a little bit gaunt right there. There's like this line. Let's try our new... Love it. Color fill object. Color fill object. let's go back into that. Yeah, a little bit hollow is right there. There's a tiny little thing. Okay, let's fix that bottom lid up a little bit. And I think we can move into Maya and start doing some basic camera lineups. The eyelid shelf is a little bit steep. I feel like it's still... The thing with eyes is they're so subtle. Like, to get likeness in eyes is insanely difficult. Okay. Mouth. How are we going to handle mouth? Might quickly run onto 3D Scan Store again. I'm also going to see John Singer Sargent shaved? Question mark. Are there any images of him before he had the beard? Even if it's a self-portrait, just something. Okay, so that's a very early painting. Still had the beard. Well, you can tell he probably had a pretty normal shaped corner of the jaw. Just by that, I'm going to grab this image, put it onto my board. Put that next to that. So that can be somewhat helpful reference. If I just search chin, will I get any results? Put this in there. Yeah, it doesn't like any images exist of that period. that. Let's see if there's any faces that look kinda like it could be him. So let's go head scans. Cleaned male head scans is fine. Then we just want sort by. Okay. It's possible to arrange by age. Apparently not. Just trying to think what kind of chin he would have had. One like this feels like it could be Ryan. But it's entirely kind of conjecture, honestly. See if we can find anyone that has like a bulbous nose like he does. Obviously we've already got this head scan, which is honestly not far off in terms of nose shape. It's not a million miles away, and obviously age-wise is not far off. I don't know, it doesn't feel right. This one's a bit more overweight. I'm just gonna get this on there, because mouth feels like it might not be a million miles away. Oh. God, the quality of these scans is insane. Okay, let's drag that over there. Try to work on the chin a little bit. Let's get an element of this chin in, and then work the mouth to be a little bit closer. So I'm going to save my scene before I go any further though. I'm also just going to turn the eyes on, but hide the hair. So let's get a little bit more, get this center more correct. Okay. Then it's here where a lot of the weight goes, right? Honestly, that kind of works a bit better. This feels a bit more like what I'd imagine his face looking like. Let's just get a little bit of this. Don't know what that form is, but I really like it. Oh. Jaw muscle sits there. Skin hanging, maybe? I don't know. Either way, let's just hold that out a little bit. Yeah, it feels a lot more convincing now. So chin-wise, part of the ear is really bothering me all of a sudden. What is going on with that? Just trying to figure out what I'm going to do after the stream today. Getting really addicted to Squad at the moment, the shooting game. It's so much fun. So let's just redefine some of these guys. So I don't want to break symmetry yet, but I do need to get some kind of bumps in here. What does I need? It's covered in facial hair. What alpha are you using for clay buildup? Alpha 6. There's a Flip Normals video that goes through... Oh hey, Creams. Sorry, I missed your message. But yeah, Alpha 6 works really well. So George, maybe this helps. If you sent a URL, I wouldn't have received it. YouTube automatically filters out the messages. You got two options. If you have me on Facebook, you can just send it me there. If not, when you send the link, manually add a space before like .com, and that will break the hyperlink, and then I can just copy paste it and remove the space. Like URLs get auto-filtered out by YouTube. But yeah, but Brush Alpha 6 works really, really well, especially with a low Z intensity. I love it. Also, something, I can't remember who it was who showed me, I think it was Xeno Pilgrims, actually, who told me about it. If you have alpha set to off and Z intensity of like 2, this is an incredible lightness brush, like when you're doing minor adjustments, because it's incredibly soft. It slowly hollows out details, but still keeps the shapes kind of intact. So it's like a more controllable version of clay buildup. But I'm still in the sketch stage, so I like a little bit of texture. Because the thing I like about having a bit of texture on a brush is it gives you stuff for free, occasionally, by accident, which is the best kind of stuff. Just pack these together a little bit more closely. His nose feels a bit more square than what I've got. I think that already starts to do it a little bit. Feels a lot better. I used to just use trim dynamic, or not trim dynamic, sorry, damn standard to get that sort of line in, but clay buildup was a better job for me. Like, what you can do with damn standard is very gently hold Alt and just draw a line in and then smooth that line out. And it's a really nice way of getting like plane changes if you want like a really sharp plane change, but it's artificially sharp and is perfectly even. I found that over time, as I've got more comfortable with the clay buildup, I find it easier to kind of zigzag and then hollow out on both sides, and that creates a plane change while also not having a perfect like linear line. This feels weirdly round here. This looks so weird when I take off the facial hair. There's so much that's been kind of hidden by it, I feel. Kind of helps. Really enjoy doing lightness sculpting. It's something I really want to get good at. I think my first time doing like an actual likeness sculpts outside of university actually was on a TV show. But it was kind of like mostly bad scan cleanup, more than actual like likeness sculpting from scratch. It's like that's it in terms of my professional experience doing likeness sculpts. I've just done the one, which is for a Sherlock spin-off. We had a shot that needed a face replacement for some weird, like bubbly skin thing. So we had to do a CG replacement of. Is it Jude Law who's in that? I can't remember. But I had to like throw together a likeness sculpt for him, which was a lot of fun. At the time, I worked as a generalist for NPC Episodic, whereas now I'm a lit dev artist first and foremost. But being a generalist was a lot of fun. Something definitely like I kind of want to get back into at some point. Generalist work is the most fun because you just get to do stuff. Like you don't have to like. I mean, obviously you have to worry about deadlines and shit still, but you don't have to get like really wound up in one area. Like if you think you can do something differently, you can just go ahead and do it differently, as long as it conforms to the pipeline of the studio you're working for. And that is the sort of stuff I kind of live for, honestly. Like changing up, doing stuff differently each time. Which I'm sure is an absolute nightmare to work with. So yeah, I feel bad for those who have to pick up my stuff because it's always different. But I feel it's like the best way to learn, at least for me. If I just do the same thing over and over, I get one, really bored, but also just kind of get stuck in the ways of doing it. Okay, that's way too sharp. There we go. Let's just create V5. Oh. What would be cool in ZBrush if there was a button? If there was a button, kind of like Solo, but rather than solo the object, it solos whatever like preset group you have. Because what I'd really like is, obviously right now, all I have to do is unhide this or hide this one group. But if I wanted like the eyes and the skin to be visible, and let's say I had clothing and some other stuff going on, I'd have to hide multiple groups. Whereas Dynamic Solo, if there was like a way, well, Solo, if there's a way to do that where it hides everything except the group that you have, that'd be really, really cool. Right, okay, skull shape, that's the next thing. Let's find some skull shape ref. Found it. Well, these guys have a bit of hair. Let's, one sec, let's find some skull images. In fact, no, let's search bald man and side. So skull profile is one of those glorious things where you never really know what's correct in terms of like for your character. If they have hair, then it's impossible to tell. So let's just get this dude. Oh, there we go. And is the same guy visible from the front anyway? There's a lot of images of him. Okay, that's helpful. Can I drag the image, please? So I'm just trying to navigate this website. Every time I do anything, it zooms in more. There we go. Put image in new tab. It's very low res, but that's all I need. There we go. So let's just crop these quickly down. Cool. Let's fix up my skull profile. Mike, try checking the nasolabial fold. It seems more convex in the reference. Cool. Yeah, I'll have a look at it. I'm just going to get the skull right first. Or at very least more right. Because this is really wrong at the moment. I'm definitely not going to get it accurate on the first attempt. Something I'm very prone to doing, which I notice in a lot of my work, is I make the back of the skull really defined, like really arbitrarily. It's a habit I need to get out of doing. Okay. How's my actual scale doing? So his forehead is quite sloped backwards. See, this matches that angle, but then he's rotating his head backwards, so I think that forehead needs to come forward a tiny, tiny bit. Just mask out the face. Feels a bit better. Work ever so briefly on the shoulders. Then we'll have to block out body at some point soon-ish. Maybe not today, but definitely in the next stream, if we don't start it today. I'll still just keep working on the face. Okay, next bit. So nasolabial fold, you say? Let's have a quick look. Yeah, mine's definitely more defined. What's the best image? He doesn't really have much of the nasolabial, actually. Mine's a lot more defined. Cool. Let's get that done then. Pull back that part of the cheek. Okay, so now is where going in with that incredibly subtle brush will start to help. Because this sort of like bump that I've got going right now like gets evened out by this method. It's really, really nice. Really nice brush. It just has such a round kind of effect to it. There we go. Definitely need a little bit of something. That's not the way I had it. So we've got that. Okay, so now let's go in with damn standard. Just very subtle. Just get that corner. He feels like it's getting a little bit wide in my face now. I keep doing that. There we go. Okay. I need to get this eye shape right, man. It's not working at all. That brow shape is definitely part of the reason. Look at that. It's almost like it's drawn on. Just gets arbitrarily tight towards the end here. Bit tight. Okay. I think we can start doing lineups now. There's still a lot of work to do, but it's kind of getting to that point where my eye is becoming slightly blind to it. So what I'm going to do, let's go quickly back up. Back up some objects. First pass. There we go. Cool, cool. So I guess from here we just want to decimate these. I'm going to decimate from this one because we're not at a stage where we need this extra level here. It really doesn't do anything. In fact, I could probably get rid of it entirely. In fact, yeah, we literally can. Cool. Let's kill that subdivision. Geometry. Delete higher. Okay, let's save. How much data does that save? 30 meg, not bad. Okay, so we can. We've got that saved, so let's go into Z plugin, decimation master, and let's just go Yeah, preprocessed current. I'm just going to use this to set up some cameras, basically. I need to look into as well how to do like importing cameras and image planes into ZBrush. Okay, so let's Z-plug in. 192,000. Okay, so let's get that exported. Once we check smooth normals, there we go, export. Head underscore geo. I'm just gonna name that as well. Rename head underscore geo. Eyes underscore geo. In fact, don't know why I did that because I now need to undo. Oh, does it not? Oh, sick. I thought when you hit undo it would undo the naming as well, but apparently not. That's really cool. Right, okay, so I got that exported. So let's export this as well. Export eyes.obj. That head does not need to be that many polygons. Let's just quickly clean this up a little bit. Let's go geometry 0 mesh. I'm just gonna pick that color as well. Let's crank that to like 50k, because it's still gonna be way less. That's so close. Leave that to do its thing for a moment. I guess while it does, we can save this. Close it. Then file, import, modeling, ZBrush, block out. Close that for a moment. There we go. File, import. Okay, import the head. So we know it's correct. We know it's roughly the correct scale. Position-wise, I'm not going to worry about that for a little while. We can update that later once we've got topo in there. But it's like vaguely the right size. Although I should probably double check it. Okay. If I remember correctly, the average width of the human head is 15 centimeters, but let's just double check. Average width of human head. Six to 7 inches. I mean, that's all well and good, but what is that? Let's put 6" in centimeter. 15 centimeters. Okay, so it's 15 to 18 centimeters approximately. Cool. So let's create a cube. And there we go. Perfect. It's a lot lighter now. Cool. So we need something about 15 centimeters across. So we got a cube in there. Let's go to attribute editors. Width. Let's go 15. Okay, so our head is too small. Really not by much, but still enough for it to be worth fixing. This is easier to fix at this stage than it is later. So that's the correct scale. So let's export that back over. Head. Just going to call that scaled. Hey Miles, welcome to the stream. Okay, so let's get a subtool, append, sphere, import, exports, head scaled. Okay, so we need the head to be that much bigger. Can you scale entire groups at the same time? No, you can't. Okay, how much bigger did I make it? 30%. Okay, so if I go into hide this, go into deform and size. What? How does that size work? Okay, let's check. Have him visible, and then go into deformation. That was 37, right? Yeah, 37. Alright, cool. So let's set that to 37, which actually 3.6. Okay. 37 worked, so we'll just do that on all of them. And hopefully, it lines them up. I'm really hoping it does it from world origin. Oh, it's relative to each object. Why? Oh. Wait, what? Oh, there we go. Okay, of course it is working. That was weird. Why did that happen? Okay. Go to deformation. Then go to size. 37. Cool. Subtools. Deformation. 37. Perfect. One more, which is the head hair. Deformation. I could probably use like transformation master to scale them all at the same time. You can scale them all at the same time. Was you about to say transformation master or transform master or whatever it's called? There we go. Call that it. Cool. So subtool. Then we can delete this guy now. Okay, so now we got that guy. Let's go Z plugin, preprocess current. We'll re-dynamesh this guy. Hey, is it AI or AL? Either way, welcome to the stream. I'm gonna assume AL until you reply. Decimate current. Cool. So let's just go export. Cool. Then we can undo that. Cool, cool, cool. Open Maya. Kill that. So now it's roughly the right size, which is good. And I can quickly kill the scaled object. Don't need that anymore. There we go. Cool, cool, cool. So, what we need now... is that the right scale? Did I accidentally do the wrong thing? Oh, that's not what I want. That's what I want. That is correct. Alright, cool, cool. So, I need to do a camera lineup, which means I need to get my images. Actually, come to think of it, I never set up my images, did I? It says, like, it's all in a pure ref. let's have a quick look. So let's just create a new camera. And I'm in that camera now, good. Let's call this ref cam. Okay, so I'm going to assume a high focal length for most of these, since they're all probably taken from quite far away. So what we're going to do is, I'm just going to do the same for the eyes. So import, export, once I set all this off. Cool. And then I'll do the same for the hair quickly, shall we? The quickest down resing ever. Okay, maybe not like that. How we'll leave it. So, you can always add that back in later. We need our ref, and currently, that's obviously our main one. I'm going to open pure ref. Can I load? Like, can I export a sequence? Images. I know there's a way to export, like, all your stuff. Yeah, save, export, selected images. Okay, let's put a folder in here called export. Head ref underscore. And then we'll put $0. Now that is a handy tool. That's really cool. That's really cool. Thank you, PureRef. So now we can just set up on this guy. We have 8 frames, so we're just going to do. Didn't mean to do that, but I guess we don't. Doesn't really matter. So, if we grab this camera, go into environment, create an image plane. I'm going to limit this to 8 frames since that's all we have. Really should be named 1001 to 1008, but it doesn't matter too much in this case. Slowly but surely this directory is going to fill up with Maya's automatic files. We go ref, export, and then we're just going to fit vertical. Oh, it has. It's hilarious. Cool. So, vertical is the way to go, I guess, in this case. Then we want this to be an image sequence, right? Is that stretched? That is correct. Alright, cool, cool. What a horrendously useless image. Does it have to clamp all of them to the same size? typically that's one of the more useless images anyway. Right, okay, so let's set our depth. Add an extra 0. That's 4. Okay, 4 doesn't work. I'm going to assign a material to this, give it a blin, and just make that blin a bit transparent, stuff like that. Turn off selection highlighting. Cool. That should be transparent enough. So let's go to the first frame. Okay, I'm going to create 2 panels. One of them will be a ref cam. One of them will be a witness cam, which I'm just going to use. So obviously it's going to be very imprecise. Why are any of these set to anything other than object? Oh, that needs to be a bit bigger actually. Okay, let's use the tip of the nose and the tip of the ear to do lineups. Okay, that'll do for now. So do that. Again, need to be acutely aware that these are different ages. That's not a bad lineup. So we'll keep that. Something like that will do, although the eyes are way off. I'll do as a block out. Let's see if there's any like camera lineup tools that exist. Okay, so my skull has way too much volume. Was I using the wrong camera handle this entire time? Tortoise isn't far off. The nose is pretty close. The brown needs a little bit more volume here and here. Head is too tall. That needs to be pulled way down. Ear is too low, although I'm curious as to how much of that is like... Oh, actually, the angle was a bit wrong. That's matching a lot better. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, that's a bit too steep. Probably to do another pass on some of these. I mean, we may as well. See, technically I should put the camera pivot on the face to get like much easier time rotating it to line up. In fact, yeah, I should probably do that now. So D. If you use the nose as the pivot point, you can just line the nose up and then rotate to salvation. Because when you rotate a camera with a pivot point that isn't in the camera, you're doing translation, not rotation at that point. Oh, you're kind of doing both, but you get the point. Uh-oh. Huh? There we go. That was weird. Okay, so the eyes are in there a little bit. Stuff like that. Lines up a lot closer. But yeah, let's get into the habit of getting this all a bit closer first, and then moving the pivot. Stuff like that. So that works. Maybe rotate out a tiny bit. Stuff like that. And then last angle. Let's just zero out these. Huh? There we go. Modify. Sense pivot. Did I just move the head? What did I do? The last one's in the right place, but obviously everything else isn't anymore. What's going on? Okay, well, I guess I've lost those for some reason. At least it's only transform that we lost. The eyes aren't lining up there, but that's fine. Wonder what I did. Because that sort of stuff doesn't just happen. Like... Ah, yeah, of course. Moving the pivot. In which case... we need to modify center pivot again. And just accept the fact that it's all wrong. Okay, that's understandable. Cheers, man. Okay, so let's get that in the right place. Yeah, I should have thought about that. Of course, moving the pivot changes the position. Okay, so that needs tilting slightly, but let's not worry about that yet. Okay. Okay, I need to... Why is that? That thing's so weird. Why is this? Why must I suffer? Oh my god, what is going on with this animation now? Okay. What is going on with this? There's something really wrong with this. See, what is the default position of this supposed to be? Like if I create a new camera and just go in perspective, so it's... Why is this changing so much then? So the problem I've got now is, for whatever reason, the pivot's going back to where it was, whereas with this guy, so if I put that in perspective 1, just straight up not let me select him right now. Yeah, because I have selection highlighting turned off. But it's like, yeah, the behavior is kind of fucked. Alright, I'm just gonna have to start that again. Because it's intense, like, I can't control that. So let's call this ref cam. Create. Set this to fit resolution gate best. And then select this guy. Use image sequence. Cool. Let's set the depth of that guy. Add a 0. Let's give it another go. Yeah, possibly. Yeah, maybe pivot location. In fact, no, because pivot location, if that got... So if pivot location also got saved, like when you keyframe it, then I wouldn't have had a problem, right? Just gonna move this way over. Keeps going. That works. Okay. So third time's the charm. Keyframe. Next. The eyes are way, way off. Hard to tell though, is it a case of my eyes being too high in the model, or is it a case of my camera lineup being wrong? Because the brows aren't a million miles off anymore. Okay, let's save that for now. Move on to the next one. So for that will do. So that ear is too small. So is it a case of moving it to its right size and then rotating? I think it is. I think that's not a bad match. Let's just make it more transparent. So flat. Yeah, the head is way too big. Although my chin looks a little bit too big here as well. Which to me suggests something like that. Okay. I do have a common theme though. Oh, don't tell me. Right. I fucked up. I don't know yet. Oh no, it's still on up. Good. Good, good, good. Too far off. There we go. Why are you starting? Why are some of these moving? We got there eventually. He doesn't have a beard in that photo. What, this one? He still has a beard. Then let's just call this John Singer. Oh, Joggin. John Singer Sargent. .1.1.1.ma. Cool. So what common trends are we getting? Brow too small. Something we see quite a few times. Like it needs more volume at the top there. Oh, the link I sent you. You can't send links over the chat. You have to break the link up in some way to stop it from being a full URL. What I recommend you do is just put a space before .com. I will say if I receive a link, so if you just try that, and then if that doesn't work, try deleting the .com, maybe splitting the message in two, see if that helps, and then I can just paste them back together. But if you've actually been able to find an image where he doesn't have that, that's amazing. Thank you. Trying to use the corner of the nose and the tip of the nose and the ear is like a general thing to line up with. And the rest is proportion stuff that might change with the actual sculpting. This is an older photo, so his earlobes will be bigger. Granted, that won't account for it. Ah, he's 11-year-old in the picture. And it. Oh, you're gonna go to sleep. Alright, have a good night, man. I'm gonna search him though. John Singer Sargent childhood. Because it's still potentially a helpful reference. So that's a painting of a child. But it's not John Singer Sargent now. It's a painting of his. Yeah, it looks like it's not going to come up. Okay. Sargent and sister Emily, 18. Okay, let me give that a search. Thank you very much, man. Ah, okay. So, although obviously it's not helpful to like his, the portrait necessarily, it gives me an idea. Like, obviously I can tell that he never had a super wide face. That outfit's crazy, like the socks. But let's get that dragged in. Yeah, so jaw ends there. So he has a pretty normal jaw width, if anything it's slightly narrow. Yes, this could be wrong then. Maybe this needs pulling in a little bit. Right, have a good night, man. Thank you for the ref. It's really helpful. Okay, so we found that the upper brows needed more volume most of the time. So let's add a bit of that in. Oh, why did I close PureF? In fact, how long have we been streaming for now? Okay, I'm going to do 20 more minutes of work, and then I'll do some offline renders. I just realized I never added the actual image. As in like the ref, the main thing. Okay, let's copy this. And paste that in there. Okay, I'm just gonna do some quick stuff, which is rename all of these. 9. Rename. 8. Rename. 7. 6. 5. 4. Rename. 3. 2. And then, oh, that's a JPEG. Alright, let's just quickly delete that out. Go back into PureF. Load recent. We'll just save it out as a PNG. Let's find out. Because I don't think all the other images are PNG. Save, export, selected image. Override name, head, ref, underscore, %0. Cool, it does. Alright, so let's go back into this, save. We're gonna have to reload. Okay, it's got confused, but that's fine. That's what we expected. Let's just grab that last one. And then, so there's a sequence. It's stretching them all. Why has that happened? Okay, what is going on here? Let's delete the image plane out. Select that camera again. Create. Okay. Image sequence. Okay, let's just set the depth a bit higher. That image, why is it cached it like this? It's just got completely stuck. This is so strange. It's just caching everything out really weirdly. Okay, I'm going to save an alt version of this soon. gonna kill it. Cool, and let's just reopen Maya. Okay, so that's now doing what we expect. So let's grab the animation of this guy. Cool, so select that camera. There we go. That one just keeps moving. All the others line up though. So let's just line this one back up, which is nice and simple because we can just move it into place. The rotation shouldn't have changed. Okay. Then grab this guy. Zero out some of these rotations. I'm just going to quickly set my render settings to be 1080 for now. Okay, that'll do for now. Okay, so what we're going to do now is quickly grab the models, decimate them, bring them into Maya, turn them into alembics, take it into Katana, and do a test render. In the meantime, though, I need to quickly get this ref cam. I'm going to rename it. Okay. Then really I do need to renumber the frames. But we'll get back to that, I think. For now, let's just grab RefCam. I'm going to go into... see if I can remember where this is. I need to change the overscan. Display options. Overscan. Set that to 1. Cool. Then let's just grab this guy. I'm gonna save my scene again. So let's go to Arnold. Oh, no, sorry, Cache, Alembic, export selection to Alembic. No, let's do the frame offset now. Okay, so you're gonna love this. Rename 100. Rename. It's good practice. Oh, there we go. Cool. So we got that, which means that all these are now broken. Good. So we need to offset all these by 1,000 frames. Is there a way to rapidly offset them? Windows. I know we can go to graph editor, but I'm thinking more. One double O, oh 1010. Cool, let's go 1001. Cool, cool, cool. So save that scene. I'm just gonna have to grab this and just update that. Cool. So we got that. So let's just grab this guy, go to cache, Alembic, export selection to Alembic. Then we're going to go into... Where would I put this? I could put it in cache, Alembic, cameras. And then we're just going to call this ref cam sequence. Didn't mean to do that. I switched this to Alembic. Ref cam sequence. So I want time slider. And I want world space. I don't think I need anything else. Cool. Then we need to grab our objects, which are all of these basically. So I'm going to merge all these because I don't need them to be separate objects. So it's a merge down. When I say all these, I mean the hair geometries. I can always separate them later. Maybe even that. Okay. Cool. So we got this, which is the latest model. So let's just go and do. Given that we're only ever referencing this thing, I'm not going to worry about decimating it every time. I'm just going to put this in here, call it head geo. Did I save that to the right place? I don't believe I did. Let's go modeling, ZBrush, block out. Put that in exports. Replace file and destination. Cool. And we'll do the same with the eyes. Probably do the same with these guys. Cool. And let's do the same with the hair as well. Let's rename this. Hair proxy underscore geo. And then export. Oh wait, I need to change my export settings for this one. So we wanted to group the meshes, we don't need UVs, we don't need textures. We wanted to smooth the normals. Okay, so we got all those. Let's just save this guy. this point we can close ZBrush. Let's go into Maya, and we're just going to File, Import, and we're going to grab Did it not group it? Okay. File, import. I think it's group. There's a way to import. Oh, didn't mean to do that. Let's go back into ZBrush, just turn off that setting. I don't know why it's on by default, it annoys me. Open file, let's go to CG stuff, projects, personal projects, John Singer Sargent, modeling, ZBrush, block out, exports, I know, just block out in this case. Export, so we want to turn on, oh we have group. Okay, let's try that. I know we want to turn off group, don't we? Okay. Okay, so let's go back and fix the other two as well. Okay, there we go. Minimize it for now. File, import. Grab that head. Head, geo. Windows, generators, namespace. Okay, cache Alembic, export selection to Alembic. And then this one will go to modeling, ZBrush, block out, exports. And let's just quickly grab the name from this guy. Let's put ABC in the end. Current frame. Cool. Let's quickly go in to the import settings and just quickly do the same for the other guys. ISGeo. Eyes_geo. Cache Alembic, export selection to Alembic. ISGeo. ABC. And last one, import hair. Hair proxy. Yep, that one's fine. Hair proxy, _geo. Cache Alembic, export size to Alembic. Blah 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 blah. Cool. That's that sorted. I'll probably start referencing those in rather than importing, but for now I'll delete them out. Save my scene just to make the scene lighter. This guy, got him saved, but I'll just double check. And then I just need to black out my screen for a moment. Open up Katana. Okay, I can unblack out my screen now. Whew. And Katana will open at some point. In the meantime, go ahead and read my entire desktop. Come on, Katana, do your thing. There we go. Cool. File, recent. Open up John Singer Sargent. Go to that Importomatic. Delete these guys. Add Alembic. Go into projects. Person projects. John Singer Sargent. Add Alembic. And add Alembic. Okay, then we just need to go down here. Alembic in. Let's grab our cache Alembic cameras. Okay, we're just going to move that to world geo cam. Okay, that is registering as a camera, that's good. So we'll just go to render settings. And then we're going to grab that render cam. Resolution, we're just going to cap out at 1080, so HD. Cool. And that, in theory, should work.
Your living organism and all its behavior. It's expressing it as a singer sings a song.
Just go to RefCam. I think it was on a different frame. There we go. Cool. So I'm going to go into the lighting. Just turn off these ones. Let's just quickly go into contributions. Cool. So that'll do for now. We have a general lineup. We've improved the likeness a bit. And yeah, I can start to kind of assemble stuff from this now. So as of next stream, we can really line up that ref and get everything working. We will have to adjust the lineup cameras a few times, I think. But, you know, we can do that as and when we need to. But yeah, Cool. Well, we've been streaming for, what, 3 hours now? 3 hours and 6 minutes, yeah, so we'll definitely end the stream here. Thank you for dropping by, guys. I also really appreciate the activity in the chat. It's been really cool. But yeah, so next stream, I'm trying to decide if what I do every day while I've got the motivation for a new project, or if I want to kind of pace myself so I don't burn out. So I may stream tomorrow, but if I don't stream tomorrow, I will stream on Tuesday after work. So yeah, thank you for dropping by, guys. And yeah, hope to see you in the next stream. If I don't, well, hope you enjoy.